The massive Imperial warship emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system, its dark hull blocking out distant stars. Behind it, thousands of smaller ships appeared like a swarm of metal insects, their engines glowing with purple energy. The Imperial fleet had arrived, just as Earth's defense systems had predicted. Inside Earth's Unified Defense Command Center in Geneva, Admiral James Porter watched the holographic display with steady eyes. Unlike many first-time visitors to the command center, he didn't pace or fidget. After 30 years of service, he had seen enough to know that panic never helped. "They're positioning themselves in attack formation," reported Lieutenant Tom Miller, his fingers moving across the holographic controls. "Standard Imperial conquest pattern, just like the archives showed." Porter nodded, taking the sip from his coffee mug. "How many ships?" 5,000, sir. 1 Supreme-class command ship, 2,000 heavy cruisers, and the rest are support vessels." Tom paused, checking another reading. "Their weapons are powered but not armed. Looks like they're following standard first contact protocol." Porter almost smiled at that. If only they knew this wasn't first contact. The main screen flickered, and a transmission request appeared. The Empire was ready to make its demands. Porter straightened his uniform and pressed a button on his chair. "Accept transmission, full display." The image of an Imperial commander filled the screen. Like most high-ranking Imperials, he had gray skin, 4 eyes, and wore an ornate uniform covered in medals. His expression showed the usual Imperial arrogance. "People of Earth," the commander spoke in perfect English, thanks to their universal translators. "I am Supreme Commander Dax of the Galactic Imperial Fleet. Your world has been chosen to join our glorious empire. Resist, and we will be forced to take action. Submit, and you will enjoy the benefits of Imperial protection and technology." Porter took another sip of his coffee, letting the silence stretch for exactly 10 seconds. It was a trick he had learned years ago. Nothing unsettled aliens more than a calm human. "Supreme Commander," Porter replied, his voice steady and almost friendly. "This is Admiral James Porter of Earth's Unified Defense Force. I'm authorized to respond to your message." The Imperial commander's upper eyes blinked in surprise at the quick response. Most primitive worlds either panicked or begged for time when the Empire arrived. "Then you agree to submit?" Commander Dax asked, his tone suggesting this was merely a formality. Porter set down his coffee mug. "Actually, Commander, I'm instructed to give you a message. Leave." All 4 of the commander's eyes blinked rapidly. "Perhaps your translator is malfunctioning. This is not a negotiation." "The Empire." "Your translators are working perfectly," Porter interrupted. "The message is simple. Leave our solar system. You have 1 hour." Dax's gray skin darkened with anger. "You dare? You think your primitive weapons can stand against the Imperial fleet? We have conquered 10,000 worlds. 59 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, Commander." Porter's voice remained calm. "I suggest you use this time wisely." "You leave us no choice," Dax snarled. "We will make an example of Earth. Your defiance will be remembered as a lesson to." Porter pressed a button, cutting off the transmission. He turned to his crew, who watched him with confident smiles. They all knew what was coming. "Status of the defense grid?" Porter asked. "All systems green," Tom reported. "Planetary shields are charged and ready. The moon base reports all platforms are tracking targets. Mars Defense Station is standing by." Porter nodded, picking up his coffee mug again. "Send word to all commands. Defense pattern echo. Let's show them why Earth is called the Forbidden Zone." Across Earth's orbit, hidden defense platforms powered up. On the moon, massive ion cannons emerged from hidden bunkers. On Mars, ancient defense systems left by humanity's first alien enemies, now reprogrammed and improved, hummed to life. In space, the Imperial fleet began to move. They had conquered thousands of worlds, all following the same pattern. They would show these primitives the price of defiance. They didn't know that Earth had faced their kind before. They didn't know about the graveyard of alien ships hidden in the asteroid belt, or the advanced technology humans had reverse-engineered from previous invaders. They would learn, just like all the others. The clock was ticking. 50 years earlier, on a cold October morning, humanity had its first official contact with alien life. It didn't go well. Dr. Robert Wilson stood in the same command center where Admiral Porter now served, though back then it was just a simple military bunker. He watched as the first alien ships descended through Earth's atmosphere, their intentions already clear from the weapons they had fired at Earth's primitive satellites. Their landing in multiple locations, a young technician had reported. Beijing, New York, London, Moscow, New Delhi. His voice shook with fear, but Dr. Wilson wasn't afraid. He was smiling. The aliens, calling themselves the Hunters, expected to find a primitive species armed with simple projectile weapons and basic nuclear devices. They found something very different. What the Hunters didn't know, couldn't have known, was that they weren't humanity's first contact with alien life. 20 years before their arrival, a small scout ship had crashed in the Antarctic. Inside, humans found something incredible, a database containing information about the galaxy, including details about various alien species and their technologies. The world's governments, for once, made a wise choice. Instead of fighting over the discovery, they united. A secret organization was formed, dedicated to preparing Earth for the inevitable day when aliens would arrive. Dr. Wilson led this organization. Let them land, Wilson had ordered. Activate the pulse. Across the planet, hidden transmitters powered up. The Hunters' ships suddenly lost power, their advanced technology rendered useless by frequencies discovered in that Antarctic database. They fell from the sky like metal rain. The Hunters survived, of course. They were tough creatures, bred for war. But on the ground, without their technology, they discovered something terrifying. Humans were stronger than they looked. In the years that followed, more aliens came. Each time, humanity was ready. Each invasion taught them something new. Humans didn't just defeat their enemies. They learned from them. They took alien technology and made it better. They combined different alien systems in ways their original creators never imagined. The swarm came with their living ships, expecting to consume Earth's biomass. Instead, their neural networks were turned against them by human computer viruses. The Crystal Nines arrived with their energy weapons, only to find that humans had developed shields that could absorb and redirect their power. The Mechanical Collective tried to hack Earth's systems, discovering too late that human AI was more creative and adaptable than their rigid programming. Each victory made humanity stronger. Each defeat made them more determined. The graveyard of alien ships in the asteroid belt grew larger. Then came the message that changed everything. A dying alien captain, his ship crippled by Earth's defenses, transmitted a warning to his people: avoid the Sol system. The humans. They learn. They adapt. They take our weapons and make them stronger. They are not prey. They are predators. Mark this sector as forbidden. The warning spread. Alien civilizations began avoiding Earth's solar system. Some tried to make peaceful contact, seeking to learn from the humans rather than conquer them. Earth's leaders were cautious but fair. Trade agreements were made. Knowledge was exchanged. But one rule remained absolute. No alien military vessels were allowed in the solar system. For 30 years, this rule was respected. Earth grew stronger, developing its own unique technology that combined the best aspects of various alien systems with human innovation. The defense grid around the solar system became the strongest in the known galaxy. Dr. Wilson, now old and retired, watched all of this with satisfaction. On his last day as leader of Earth's Defense Technology Division, he had given a speech that was now required learning for all defense personnel. We are not the strongest species in the galaxy. We are not the most advanced. But we are the most adaptable. Every alien race that came here thought they knew what humans were capable of. They all learned the same lesson: Never underestimate a species that can turn your own weapons against you. Now, 50 years after that first official contact, the Galactic Empire was about to learn this lesson too. Admiral Porter had studied this history well. He knew what Dr. Wilson and those first defenders had discovered. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't its weapons or technology. It was its ability to take an enemy's strength and turn it into a weakness. The Empire was about to discover why Earth was called the Forbidden Zone. They would learn, just like all the others. And they would learn it the hard way. Supreme Commander Dax paced on the bridge of his flagship, his 4 eyes narrowed in anger. Behind him, the holographic display showed Earth's solar system, a seemingly insignificant collection of planets around an ordinary star. The human's response played again in his mind. Leave. No one had ever dared to simply dismiss the Imperial fleet. My commander, his second-in-command, Officer Wren, approached with a datapad. I have the complete analysis of Earth's defensive capabilities. Dax grabbed the pad, scanning it quickly. Primitive particle weapons, basic shield technology, and a handful of orbital platforms. Nothing we haven't seen before. He threw the pad onto his command chair. These humans are either brave or foolish. Sir, Wren hesitated. There are some unusual readings. Their shield frequencies don't match any known patterns, and our deep scans can't penetrate past their outer defense line. It doesn't matter. Dax waved his hand dismissively. We've conquered worlds with far better defenses. The Empire has never failed. On the tactical display, thousands of Imperial ships moved into attack formation. It was a pattern perfected over centuries of conquest. Heavy cruisers in front to absorb damage, missile frigates behind to provide covering fire, and assault carriers ready to deploy ground forces once the orbital defenses fell. Send the final warning, Dax ordered. Show them what they face. Across the Imperial fleet, weapon systems powered up. Energy readings spiked as massive cannons charged, creating a light show meant to intimidate their targets. It was part of standard conquest protocol. Often, worlds surrendered just from this display of power. No response from Earth, Commander, Wren reported. Their defense platforms are still active, but they've made no aggressive moves. Dax smiled, showing his sharp teeth. Of course not. They know they're outmatched. He turned to his tactical officer. Begin the standard conquest protocol. Target their orbital platforms first. The Imperial ships moved forward in perfect formation. In the Empire's long history, this attack pattern had never failed. Defensive systems were overwhelmed by concentrated fire. Shields collapsed under sustained bombardment, and resistance crumbled in the face of superior numbers. Sir, Wren spoke up again. Intelligence Division has sent a priority message. They've found some concerning reports about Earth in old databases. More primitive weapons. Outdated technology. Dax didn't even turn around. No, sir. There are warnings. Several species mark this sector as forbidden. They claim the humans are dangerous. This made Dax laugh, a harsh sound that echoed across the bridge. Dangerous? Look at them. 1 star, 9 planets, primitive technology. What could they possibly do against the Imperial fleet? The warnings are quite specific, sir. They say the humans adapt, that they learn from. Enough. Dax slammed his fist on his command console. I'm tired of these delays. The Empire does not fear primitives. The Emperor himself ordered Earth's conquest, and I will deliver it. On the tactical display, the first wave of Imperial ships reached their firing positions. Targeting computers locked onto Earth's orbital platforms, calculating firing solutions for maximum damage. All ships report ready, Commander, the weapons officer announced. Awaiting your order. Dax stood tall, his ceremonial armor gleaming under the bridge lights. This would be another glorious victory for the Empire, another primitive world brought under Imperial rule. These humans would learn their place, just like all the others. Open fire, he commanded. Show these primitives the power of the Empire. Thousands of energy beams lanced out from the Imperial ships, a devastating barrage that would overwhelm any known defense system. Dax watched with satisfaction as the beams streaked toward Earth's orbital platforms. He didn't notice his tactical officer's confused expression as the sensors showed something strange. He ignored Wren's attempt to report an anomaly in the human's shield patterns. He was too focused on his imminent victory to see the signs that something was wrong. The Empire had conquered 10,000 worlds. They had perfected the art of planetary conquest. Their tactics were studied and copied across the galaxy. Their technology was considered among the most advanced in known space. But they had never faced Earth before. They had never encountered a species that turned defeat into opportunity, that learned from every battle, that became stronger with every invasion attempt. They were about to learn why the humans' simple warning, "Leave," should have been heeded. The Empire's perfect invasion plan was about to meet humanity's perfect defense. And only one would survive. Admiral Porter watched calmly as thousands of Imperial energy beams streaked toward Earth's orbital platforms. Behind him, the command center crew worked with practiced efficiency, their fingers dancing across holographic controls. "All defense systems report ready," Lieutenant Tom announced. "Adaptive shields are tracking incoming fire. Initiate defense pattern echo," Porter ordered, taking another sip of his coffee. "Let's show them our first surprise." As the Imperial weapons reached Earth's defense grid, something unexpected happened. Instead of impacting the shields or destroying the platforms, the energy beams seemed to vanish. There was no explosion, no shield flare, nothing. On the Imperial flagship, Supreme Commander Dax leaned forward in confusion. "Report. What happened to our attack?" His weapons officer frantically checked the readings. "Unknown, sir. The energy, it just disappeared." What the Empire didn't know was that Earth's shields weren't designed to block attacks. They absorbed them. Years of studying alien technology had taught humans an important lesson. Energy couldn't be destroyed, but it could be redirected. "Power absorption at 80%, Tom reported. "All storage systems charging." Porter nodded. "Begin Phase 2. Show them what we do with borrowed energy." Earth's orbital platforms began to glow with stolen power. The Empire's own energy, absorbed and refined through human innovation, was about to be turned against them. "Sir," Officer Wren shouted on the Imperial bridge, "the humans' defensive platforms are showing massive energy spikes." Before Dax could respond, Earth's platforms fired. But instead of normal weapons, they released waves of the Empire's own energy, modified and amplified. Imperial shields, calibrated to block external attacks, had no defense against their own energy signatures. The first wave of Imperial ships lost power instantly. Their own weapons' energy, turned against them, overwhelmed their systems. Hundreds of ships went dark, drifting helplessly in space. "Impossible," Dax roared. "They're using our own energy against us." All ships switched to projectile weapons. Porter smiled as the Imperial fleet changed tactics. "Right on schedule. Activate the gravity nets." Hidden generators around Earth's orbit powered up. These devices, reverse-engineered from the gravity drives of past alien invaders, created focused fields of intense gravitational force. The Imperial missiles and projectiles, instead of hitting their targets, curved away into these artificial gravity wells. Some were pulled into tight orbits, others crashed into each other, creating a spectacular display of explosions safely away from Earth's defenses. This is impossible," Dax stammered, watching his fleet's attacks fail again and again. "How can primitives have such technology?" "Phase 3, Porter commanded. "Release the drones." From hidden bays around Earth's orbit, thousands of small drones emerged. These weren't the simple remote vehicles the Empire expected. Each drone contained a hybrid AI system that combined human creativity with alien processing power. The drones swarmed through the Imperial formation, not attacking, but instead targeting their communication systems. Using frequencies discovered in that Antarctic database 50 years ago, they began disrupting the fleet's coordination. Imperial ships started firing at shadows, their sensors confused by human electronic warfare. Communication between vessels broke down as the drones inserted false commands into their networks. "We've lost contact with the entire left flank," Wren reported, his voice shaking. "Ships are firing at each other. Our formation is breaking apart." Porter watched the chaos with satisfaction. Every move the Empire made had been predicted, every counter planned for. This wasn't just a defense. It was the result of 50 years of learning from every alien race that had tried to conquer Earth. "Sir," Tom reported, "the Empire's ships are falling back. They're trying to regroup at the edge of the system. They'll try one more attack," Porter predicted. "Something desperate. Order all ships to maintain position. Keep the shields charged." He was right. On the Imperial flagship, Dax had reached the same conclusion that all of Earth's previous invaders had faced. Conventional tactics wouldn't work against these humans. "Prepare the planet Cracker," Dax ordered, his voice cold. "If we can't conquer them, we'll make an example of them." But Earth was ready for this too. As the Empire's massive superweapon prepared to fire, Porter gave one final order: initiate Thunderbolt Protocol. The Empire was about to learn that humanity's greatest defensive innovation wasn't their shields or weapons. It was their ability to think like their enemies, to predict their desperation, and to prepare accordingly. The real battle was about to begin. The Empire's planet Cracker was a terrifying sight, a massive weapon that could split worlds in half. As it moved into position, its central core began to glow with deadly energy. On Earth, Admiral Porter watched the weapon with an expression that almost looked like satisfaction. "Thunderbolt Protocol activated," Lieutenant Tom announced. "Ghost Fleet is in position." Hidden in the dark space behind Earth's moon, hundreds of sleek black ships powered up. These vessels were humanity's greatest secret, warships built using technology from every alien race that had ever attacked Earth. They were invisible to standard sensors, powered by hybrid drives that combined human ingenuity with alien science. "Launch the Ghost Fleet," Porter ordered. "Full stealth approach. Let's show them our real strength." The black ships moved silently through space, undetected by Imperial sensors. They were commanded by AI systems that thought like humans but processed data faster than any organic brain. Each ship carried weapons specifically designed to counter Imperial technology. On the Imperial flagship, Commander Dax watched his planet Cracker charge up with savage satisfaction. "Let's see them absorb this. Nothing can stop a planet Cracker once it's—" "Sir," Officer Wren interrupted, his voice filled with panic. Multiple ships appearing inside our formation. They're everywhere." Earth's Ghost Fleet materialized inside the Imperial battle group, emerging from stealth mode only when they were too close to avoid. Their black hulls absorbed sensor scans, making them appear as holes in space. "Open fire," Dax screamed, but it was too late. The ghost ships attacked with devastating precision. They didn't target the Imperial vessel's weapons or shields. They aimed for the power cores, using frequencies that turned the Empire's own energy against them. Ships began shutting down, their mighty engines reduced to dead metal. "Impossible." Dax slammed his fist on his command console. "How did they get past our sensors? How do they know our weaknesses?" The answer was simple. Humans had spent decades studying alien technology, learning how it worked, finding its flaws. Every invasion attempt had taught them something new. The Ghost Fleet was the result of all those lessons. "The planet Cracker is at 90% charge," Tom reported in Earth's command center. "They're trying to rush the firing sequence." Porter nodded. "Right on schedule. Deploy the virus." From the ghost ships, specially designed AI programs launched into the Imperial network. These weren't simple computer viruses. They were hybrid creations that combined human creativity with alien logic systems. They spread through the Imperial ships like a digital plague. On the Imperial flagship, screens began flickering. Systems started shutting down. The planet Cracker's charge sequence reversed, its deadly energy turning inward. Get out. Ren screamed. The planet cracker is going to. The massive weapon exploded, taking out a quarter of the Imperial fleet with it. The remaining ships, their systems corrupted by Earth's virus, began firing at random targets, including each other. All Imperial ships are in chaos, Tom reported with a grim smile. The Ghost Fleet reports their power cores are successfully infected. They won't be jumping to hyperspace anytime soon. Porter stood up, straightening his uniform. Send the message. Across every Imperial ship's communication system, Admiral Porter's voice rang out. Imperial Fleet, this is Earth Command. Your ships are disabled. Your weapon is destroyed. Your systems are under our control. You were warned to leave. Now you understand why. In the Imperial flagship's bridge, Dax watched his mighty fleet fall apart. Ships drifted powerless in space. Others fired blindly, their crews unable to regain control. The most powerful invasion force in the galaxy had been defeated by the very primitives they had come to conquer. Send the surrender signal, Dax whispered, all four eyes wide with shock. The Ghost Fleet surrounded the remaining Imperial ships, their black hulls now visible as a reminder of Earth's true power. They hadn't just defeated the Empire, they had humiliated them. Orders, sir, Tom asked, looking at Porter. Begin recovery operations, Porter replied, and send word to Research Division. I'm sure they'll be interested in studying Imperial technology. After all, he smiled slightly. That's how we got here in the first place. The Empire had come expecting an easy conquest. Instead, they had given Earth new weapons, new technology, and new knowledge to adapt and improve upon, just like all the others before them. Inside the Imperial Palace on the capital world of the Empire, chaos reigned. News of the fleet's defeat had spread quickly, causing panic among the Imperial court. The Emperor himself, a towering figure with 6 eyes and ceremonial battle armor, sat on his throne as his advisors argued. Impossible. General Cox slammed his fist on the holographic table. Supreme Commander Dax had 5,000 ships, the finest fleet in the Empire. And now that fleet is gone, High Counselor Mira replied, her scales shifting color with anxiety. The humans didn't just defeat them. They turned our own technology against us. The Emperor raised a hand, silencing the room. Show me the battle footage again. The hologram flickered to life, showing Earth's defense platforms absorbing Imperial energy weapons. It showed the Black Ghost Fleet appearing like shadows within the Imperial formation. It showed the planet cracker's destruction and the devastating counterattack. Fascinating, the Emperor murmured. All these years, we thought Earth was just another primitive world. We never understood what we were dealing with. An emergency transmission interrupted the meeting. On the main screen, Supreme Commander Dax appeared. His once proud uniform was wrinkled, his gray skin pale with exhaustion. My Emperor, Dax bowed his head in shame. The humans, they've allowed me to send this message. They want me to explain what happened. Speak, Commander. How did primitives defeat our finest fleet? Dax looked up, all 4 eyes filled with a new understanding. They're not primitives, my Emperor. Everything we thought we knew about Earth was wrong. They've been learning from every species that ever attacked them, taking our technology, improving it, combining it in ways we never imagined. The Imperial court watched in stunned silence as Dax continued. Their ships can absorb our energy weapons and turn them back against us. Their AI systems think like humans but process data faster than our computers. They have weapons designed specifically to counter our technology. Dax paused. And now they have our ships too. They're studying them, learning our weaknesses. Can we send another fleet? General Cox demanded. A larger one. No, Dax's voice shook. You don't understand. Every time someone attacks Earth, they get stronger. They learn. They adapt. If we send another fleet, they'll just have more technology to study, more weapons to turn against us. The Emperor stood, his massive frame casting shadows in the throne room. The humans have returned your ship's power. They're allowing you to return. Yes, my Emperor, but they sent a message with me. Dax took a deep breath. They say this is our only warning. Earth is forbidden territory. Any future military action against their solar system will be met with technologies we can't even imagine. High Counselor Mira's scales turned pale. They're threatening the Empire. No one has ever dared. It's not a threat, Dax interrupted. It's a fact. I've seen what they can do. Every attack makes them stronger. Every defeat teaches them something new. He looked directly at the Emperor. The warnings were right. Earth should remain forbidden. The Emperor sat back on his throne, deep in thought. In 10,000 years, the Empire had never retreated, never admitted defeat. But they had also never faced an enemy like this. The humans, he spoke slowly, they didn't pursue our retreating ships. They didn't demand territory or resources. No, my Emperor, they only want to be left alone. They don't seek conquest. They seek knowledge. Every ship we lost is now a learning opportunity for them. The Emperor nodded, coming to a decision. Perhaps there is wisdom in respecting their wishes. The Empire has many worlds, but we only have one fleet. The Imperial court erupted in shocked whispers. The Empire, admitting defeat, accepting limits to its power. But they all saw the truth in the battle footage still playing. They saw how easily their mighty fleet had been defeated. They saw what happened when the Empire's unstoppable force met humanity's immovable determination. Send word to all Imperial forces, the Emperor commanded. Earth and its solar system are now officially forbidden territory. No military vessels are to enter their space. He paused, looking at the image of Earth floating in the hologram. Let them keep their secrets, and pray they never decide to share them with our enemies. The Empire had learned its lesson. Earth would remain forbidden, and the galaxy would never be the same. 6 months after the Empire's defeat, Admiral Porter stood in Earth's orbital diplomatic station, watching ships arrive through the massive viewing window. Unlike the warships that had come before, these were diplomatic vessels from dozens of alien civilizations. Quite a change, isn't it? Dr. Wilson, the retired defense leader, stood beside him. Despite his age, his eyes were sharp as ever. 6 months ago, they wanted to conquer us. Now they want to learn from us. Porter smiled, sipping his ever-present coffee. The Empire's defeat changed everything. Word spread quickly about how we defended ourselves. Below them, in the station's main conference hall, representatives from 30 different alien species gathered. Some had tentacles, others had multiple eyes, and a few were even energy beings contained in special suits. All had come for the same reason: to understand how a primitive world had defeated the mighty Empire. The Christalkin delegation is requesting access to our shield technology, Lieutenant Tom reported, approaching with a datapad. And the Hive Collective wants to discuss AI development. Tell them the same thing we tell everyone, Porter replied. We're happy to share defensive technology, nothing that can be used for invasion or conquest. It was Earth's new policy, crafted carefully after the Imperial defeat. Humanity would share knowledge, but only to help others defend themselves. The weapons they had developed, the offensive capabilities they had created, those would remain secret. In another part of the station, engineers from Earth worked with alien scientists, showing them how to create basic energy-absorbing shields. The aliens marveled at how humans had combined different technologies, creating systems that were greater than the sum of their parts. The Empire has withdrawn from 3 frontier sectors, Dr. Wilson noted, checking his own datapad. Smaller worlds are declaring independence, protected by defense systems we helped them build. Porter nodded. The galaxy was changing. The Empire's defeat had shown that even the mightiest could fall if they chose the wrong enemy. More importantly, it had shown that humanity's greatest strength wasn't its weapons. It was its willingness to help others protect themselves. Message from the Council, Tom announced. The trading agreement with the merchant worlds has been approved. They'll provide raw materials in exchange for defensive technology. This, too, was part of Earth's new role. They had become the galaxy's defenders, teaching others how to protect themselves. The knowledge humanity had gained from decades of invasion attempts was now being used to prevent wars rather than fight them. In the conference hall, a holographic display showed the defeat of the Imperial fleet. Alien diplomats watched in amazement as Earth's defense platforms absorbed energy weapons, as the Ghost Fleet appeared from nowhere, as human innovation overcame Imperial might. "They're calling us the Guardians now," Dr. Wilson said with a slight smile. "Ironic, isn't it? We spent so many years learning how to fight, only to become teachers instead." Porter watched as more diplomatic ships arrived, their designs as varied as the species that built them. Maybe that was always our destiny, not to conquer, not to rule, but to show others how to remain free. The station's AI reported another diplomatic success, a peace treaty between two species that had been at war for centuries. Both had realized that fighting was pointless when Earth could help them build defenses neither could overcome. The Empire sent another request, Tom said. They want to establish diplomatic relations. Porter and Dr. Wilson exchanged knowing looks. The Empire had learned its lesson well. Better to have Earth as an ally than an enemy. "Tell them we accept," Porter replied, "under the same conditions as everyone else. Defense only. No weapons, no conquest." As the sun rose over Earth, its light reflected off the hulls of dozens of peaceful vessels. The graveyard of invasion fleets in the asteroid belt served as a reminder of the past, while the diplomatic station represented the future. Humanity had transformed from the defenders of one world to the protectors of many. Their technology, born from countless invasion attempts, now served to prevent wars rather than win them. Earth remained forbidden to those who sought conquest, but for those who sought peace, knowledge, and protection, humanity's doors were open. The galaxy had entered a new age, and at its center stood Earth, no longer just the forbidden zone, but a beacon of hope for all who wished to remain free. The end.